FIA World Touring Car Championship, the most competitive championship in motorsport. With strict regulations aimed at keeping manufacturer influence to a minimum, it's all about driver skill. Despite motorsport's governing bodies striving to ensure any of the drivers can win the championship, one man has risen to dominate the sport. Meet Andy Priaulx, who heads into the 2007 season's 11th and final race weekend in Macau with a chance to seal a third straight world title. Transworld Sport travelled to Belgium and the iconic Spa circuit recently to meet Andy and his BMW UK team as they prepare for the season's finale. Hailing from Guernsey, an island of just 60,000 inhabitants between Britain and France, Priaulx has become one of the most successful racing drivers in motorsport. But it hasn't been an easy ride. In 1997, struggling to fund his dream, Priaulx had to make sacrifices to keep his hopes alive.
So if that meant selling my house and borrowing money and having to sell cars to repay the finance and the loans, I was prepared to do whatever it took. And we got to the stage actually at one point where I was in so much financial difficulties that I had to really sell everything and just live in a little caravan at Silverstone, which was the heart of motorsport, motor racing. So I did it, and we lived in this caravan and lived on baked beans on toast for a while.
10 years on, Priaulx drives for the BMW UK team. It's a partnership that has enjoyed remarkable success in their 5 years together, and a close working relationship with Chief Engineer Sam Weiss and team boss Bart Mampai has been key. 2 WTCC titles have followed the championship's predecessor, the European Touring Car Championship in 2004. This year, Priaulx shares the lead in the championship ahead of the final round.
I've now got a brilliant team around me that understand me and know what I want from the car. Very often you're talking about a tenth of a second makes you a hero or a zero. Less than a second can separate first to 20th on the grid.
Andy Priaulx is a superb driver. He's extremely talented and has a lot of experience driving at this level. Together with our know-how, we've shown that this BMW team, along with his enthusiasm, has the capacity to compete at this level.
The success that Priaulx and his team have enjoyed requires a tremendous work ethic to sustain. Between races, the team spend copious hours working on the car. A typical day's testing involves around 500 kilometres of driving, as the team works on over 1,000 components that make the setup on race day.
Motor racing is all about hard graft, and physically in the car with the temperatures up around 50 degrees C can be very, very demanding on the body. Being in the car from 9 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening at 50 degrees cockpit temperature is a little bit like riding a bike in a sauna. So, you have some real challenges, and that's where the fitness really comes in, and that's where, the concentration levels are really important.
And the team will continue their meticulous preparation into the final round in Macau, where it could prove vital. Spa not only provides an idyllic setting, but also allows the team to set up a series of manoeuvres aimed at replicating Macau's distinctive track.
It's a very natural circuit and offers us some advantages for Macau because of the succession of bends and corners. It's perfect because it gives us a good idea of the chassis setup for Macau.
Unlike the other 2 FIA championships, F1 and WRC, touring car rules use weight handicaps and reverse grid orders to increase competition. Race weekends include 2 races run back-to-back with an hour in between. Priaulx has been a model of consistency this season with 7 podium finishes, the highlight being winning his home Grand Prix at Brands Hatch for the first time. As well as the competitive and exciting nature of the racing, a further attraction of touring cars to the public is that the vehicles used are closely related to those available on the production line, with the mechanics altering the car's capacity to suit the driver. It's these small changes that make all the difference to the BMW UK team.
I think Andy's very comfortable with the way we approach motorsport. We're also very satisfied with his views, and after 5 years working together, we sometimes don't need words anymore to know what he wants from the car.
This understanding has no doubt been key to Priaulx and his team's success. BMW also heads to Macau looking to defend the Manufacturers' Championship. And with a maximum of 20 points available in China, 5 drivers are still in with a chance of winning the title. But Priaulx can call on the experience of last year, when he headed to the final weekend as one of 9 drivers who could win the title. His ability to produce his best times at key moments, especially in one-off qualifying laps, will again be required. His dedication remains undiminished, and a growing collection of titles only serves to fuel Priaulx's ambition to become one of motorsport's most successful drivers of all time.
There's lots of drivers who've won championships. There's lots of drivers for sure that have won races. There's fewer drivers who win championships, but there's very few drivers and sports people who win multiple titles and they become legends. You know, the likes of Michael Schumacher and Valentino Rossi, you know, Jackie Stewart, Ayrton Senna. These guys have become legends in the sport because they're multiple champions, and that's something that really interests me.
As Priaulx and his BMW team head for China, a 3rd straight championship is the only thing on the focused mind of a racing driver at the top of his sport. We'll bring you news of how he gets on next week.